Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Gen V. So in this episode, it starts off right where the last one ended, which was Marie bringing her sister back to life after having her throat slit. So then we start hearing people coming from the back, trying to, all the guards coming out and everything else. So they begin to run away. Annabeth begins to like try to point them in the right direction. At this point, I'm thinking basically she's a part of the group to keep them all there, especially when they get to a point where it is a dead end, and they just assume that they're lost, basically at that point. However, I thought, oh, she won, she got them trapped there, now they can't get out. However, apparently it was all she was able to see the future a little bit because Sam blasts through the wall, gets them out of there, and they take off. So they worked their way out of there, got out, went to a library to get changed. While they were on the route to the library, we find out that Annabeth is a soup. She has precognition abilities, which is apparently she has visions of what most likely will happen. So the idea is she can't see necessarily everything, but she can see a decent amount into the future, especially when things are guaranteed, which was one of the things with Sam and everything else she was able to see because it was happening. So they get to the library, they get all dressed up, change out of their outfits. Um, Annabeth really lets it into Marie, basically stating how, she's not really thrilled with this whole situation and everything else, and was not happy with the idea of this whole situation. And she's blaming Marie pretty much for every bad thing that's ever happened to her in her life. And Marie's just wanting to make sure that she's safe and everything else, but also trying to explain to her, like, you can't leave now. Like, all this happened and now we're kind of all stuck here. Like, they're never going to let us go. So we then have them waiting there, and then we have the Viking come through, blasting his way through the library walls and starts taking out people left and right. So they begin to fight. Um, we have and Kate, Emma trying to protect Annabeth, which is funny in and of itself. Sam trying to take out the Viking, and then Jordan went to go help Marie, who got smacked out of the building. So the fight continues on, and then all of a sudden this little girl, well, she's not little, but this girl comes up to them, and basically, the Viking basically tells her to go away. She opens her mouth, four snakes come out and rips his head off. So this is Newman's daughter. So then we see none other than Edgar, who tells them, well, basically he wants Marie and only Marie. That was his big thing. Like he wants Marie. He explained that that's what we wanted, and then she basically said to him, "The only way you're getting me is if they all come." And he agrees. So he takes them all to his underground bunker. That is apparently has a layer of zinc, so that way nobody can see underground where they are. And his plan is kind of figuring out what to do from there. So the group kind of gets rested, washed up, new clothes, all that stuff. And Kate, Edgar, Marie, and Jordan are all together. And Edgar makes it very clear that he only wants Marie. He doesn't really care too much about the rest of the group because she is more special than all of them. And he explains what Project Odessa was. So Project Odessa was apparently the plan to create god level superheroes far beyond the ones of the regular soups and make them just beyond what we were capable of seeing. There have only been two cases that were successful. The first one was in the 80s, which was none other than Homelander, which was a surprise by me because I thought it was going to be Newman. And then the second one was obviously Marie, who was recent. And the reason why it was stopped after Marie's group was done was because she was the only one to survive but didn't show any power. So therefore, on paper, it was a failure. So they then discussed that the idea is, Godolkin was never, his body was never found, so it's unclear if he's actually dead. He'd be very old, but the idea would be the thought is he is not. Um, it's unclear of like what actually happened to him. So we also have a scene of Cypher trying to use, well, one doing physical therapy with the body inside of the hyperbolic chamber, smacking him around, calling him names, and then continuing to work on his physical therapy, uh, forcing Polaris to do his bidding, to get people to do what he wants, so he can get information on everyone. It basically explains like Marie's Marie's free to go. All her friends are safe as long as she goes back with him. So we're back at the compound, I guess we'll say. And the idea is Edgar is more involved in the idea of now that he thinks that Godolkin is alive, he's more focusing on that piece. Um, because on that night, Marie decides to go and leave, and Kate follows her. And Marie tells her to go away, don't follow me. And Kate's like, no, I want to keep following you because you're going to fix me at some point. And Marie's just finally like, whatever, just come with me. So the episode ends with um, Marie leaving the compound with Kate. Now the assumption is she's going to go back to the school to finish her training with Cypher, but also to protect her friends and family. That's kind of the thought process there. At least that's where I'm coming from. The other thing that I didn't mention at the while we were talking about it was when Cypher took over Polaris. Polaris was able to resist Cypher and actually knock him out of his own mind, which is definitely a big hint that it's obviously possible, and that those with strong willpower can knock him out. Well, knock him out of the body. So we'll have to wait and see what happens if there was any aftermath to that. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, definitely next episode is definitely going to be the interaction with Edgar finding out that Marie left, and the fact of her going back to the school and seeing Cypher. So we're going to have that kind of interaction in general. But oh, the other thing too was Annabeth was talking more highly about her sister when speaking with Newman's daughter about the idea of having a sister, which I thought was kind of nice. You know that she doesn't think that necessarily all of it was bad, but interesting overall. But that being said, if you let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.